Thursday Night Football has arrived. Week 12. We are about to kick things off with the Bills and the Texans tonight. 4 NBA games on tap, a boatload of NHL games, plus a massive slate of college hoops. Couple games that started off this morning and this afternoon, but we have so much going on tonight. So many teams are just in holiday tournaments right now, guys, as the season is kicked off. So we have a lot to jump into. Plenty of DFS discounts between Better and looking at some DraftKings Pick 6, which I'm logging into right now. But welcome into the stream, guys, and buckle up. We have so much to get into as we are officially at the best time of the sports betting year. And so without further ado, we're going to open up with some prize picks, some DFS, see what we have going on at the moment. Josh Allen seems to be our top play here. We are going to try to provide at least one slip for every platform. Also see here on DraftKings, guys, we have our Super Boost. We have FanDuel. We got the $2 million bonus bet giveaway. We placed that bet earlier today, but we're going to obviously be sharing and looking some anytime touchdown scores for that first or last touchdown score over on FanDuel. Allen under on his passing attempts. Someone has put up $1,800. They want this at minus 123. On a 5 or 6 pick slip, we can get this at minus 119. On a 3 pick slip with no insurance, we can get this at minus 122. So, bingo. All right, there's the first one. Brad Marchand. Somebody wants this for about $900 on his under 2.5 shots on goal. We're kind of on the edge there in terms of the liquidity there, but that's fine with me. I can do that. Marchand, under 2.5 shots on goal. All right. And then what else do we have? Mitch Marner. Not a ton of liquidity here on this Mitch Marner play. It's not great to Pinnacle. It's kind of okay. Justin Edwards on his points, rebounds, and assists. No sharp books are really offering anything over here. So let me take a look at the optimizer on PrizePicks. Looking at 3-man entries. I need one more pick to finish off this slip. What do we got? No, I don't want any fantasy scores. God, no with the fantasy scores. Please no. All right, so we talked about this Allen play. Looks really good. Cool. Combos, not a big combo guy. Not the biggest. Honestly, this is a bunch of garbage. This is not good to FanDuel. Neither of these NBA plays. It's kind of good to Pinnacle. Not that great. Dude, like, what's happening here? Where are all the plays, PrizePicks? This is a steaming pile of dog poop right here. Over 10 rebounds and assists. The over 10, it's 9.5 minus 180. Ryan Rollins, this is one that's like okay. It's like not great. All right, we're going to share this one, guys. 3-pick entry, no insurance. Not like super pumped up about the Rollins play. The other ones are fine, but it's just like, eh. I like that. I like the Allen play for sure. There we go. Okay, what's up, Irish? Josh, yo to you. MP, hello. Wilbo, you're hoping Allen goes big tonight. Marchand been there all day. Yeah, Irish, I don't know. It's just, I understand if you guys want to pass on it. It's not the best. It's kind of just mid. Tripping, yeah. Hockey just doesn't seem to get as much love sometimes. I don't know what's the deal with it. So outside of PrizePicks, what about some underdog slips? Anything for underdog? No. I got to go over the optimizer to try to scoop up some underdog. Okay, let's take a look. We got so many hockey games going on tonight. Levine on his points and rebounds. I like that. Gino, this is for Sunday's game. Pinnacle's at 28.5. Yeah, I like the Gino play. Lamar on his rushing attempts. It's all right. I'd rather take kind of Franz on his points and rebounds, to be honest with you. We were already on a Franz play from earlier today. Points and rebounds, 29.5. We're looking then at Levine, however you say it, tomato, over on his points and rebounds. And then we're going to the NFL, and we're going at Gino, under on his passing attempts. Okay. This would be our 3-pick slip. I understand that it's not always fun to have one leg waiting on a Sunday, but I'm looking for the best plays possible, and that's what we have cooked up right there. Better, James? Yeah, we're going to head over to Better. Appreciate you letting me know about that. Tony, what's going on? Wilbo? Also, for all you NFL guys, why is it called a touchdown when they don't even touch the ball? Because, Wilbo, basically it's when he's down. You have to be touched in order to be down. That would be my interpretation of why we call it a touchdown. Great question, but I know us Yanks have it a little bit different. We got some different lingo, but you Brits got it. It's a little different over there too. Some of your vernacular is a little different as well. All right, so we obviously have on Better, we have a James Cook and Jalen Johnson boost. The James Cook projection looks like 65.5 on his rushing yards. The Houston Texans guys have an incredible defense. I will say that. Jalen Johnson over on his points and rebounds. I'm going to rock Jalen Johnson. But feel free to pick whoever you like. If we're using some of these plays here, Okonkwo, there's just not a lot of liquidity here on this Okonkwo play. Okay, now Pinnacle has this at minus 109 on this under. We're getting this at minus 122. So, I know I played this earlier, I think this morning on Underdog, but like from a liquidity standpoint, not the best. Mitch Marner over on the shots on goal. Slightly beats Pinnacle. Like just not great. Let's go over to the optimizer to see if I can find something that's a little bit better. Holy, man, this is just really depressing right now. Champagne. All right, it's not great to FanDuel. It's okay to Pinnacle. You know, for the Gudis play, there's no Pinnacle odds here. There's no sharp book. James Cook on his rushing attempts. It's nice to see FanDuel and Pinnacle have the same odds. It's slightly better. So if you want to bypass the Cook discount, take Jalen Johnson, then you can obviously add the Cook rushing attempts, which is going to be the over 17.5. And then what else? I'm really surprised at just how shitty this all is. Just scratching the bottom of the barrel. Mark Andrews over 3. Okay. Tyler Warren. I don't have Pinnacle odds here. Verhage on his points. Panthers, Devils, not bad. I prefer that one probably the most. You can go with Jackson Lacombe or Lacombe, however you say that dude's name. It's about the same. Same with John Carlson. All these plays here, guys, whether it's the over on Verhage, Carlson, or Lacombe, it's really whatever you prefer. I'll go with Verhage. Let me click on. Am I spelling my man's name wrong? There it is. So we're taking his over on his points. Okay. 3-pick slip, guys. Max $10 wager because it is a perfect entry because we're taking the discounted Jalen Johnson play. And here we go. Feel free, though, if you don't like the Verhage play, if you want to take Carlson or Lacombe, you could do that. Ron, what's going on? There's the better slip. Okay, let's take a look at some dabble. And then we'll get into pick 6. I got to make sure I take a screenshot of this. If I don't take screenshots, guys, right as soon as I submit the play, I will totally forget about this. Happens all the time. Okay. And if they'll let me rock if I can also rock the James Cook slip, that'd be great. I'll quickly show Fliff for any of my Fliff people. We talked about a college basketball total earlier this morning on Fliff, the under. I can't remember the game. It looked really good. Have to go back and watch that live stream to kind of see what specifically I looked for, but we talked about that play over using the optimizer on Fliff. Grizzlies on the money line. This is 11 cents off to Pinnacle, which is nice. It's 15 cents off to Bet Online, which I really like. Honestly, if you wanted to take the Grizzlies on the money line tonight on FanDuel, not opposed to taking this on FanDuel. It's fine. It's not like an incredible play, but again, it's an NBA money line play, guys. When it comes to money lines for the NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, you're not going to find like massive 6% EV edge plays. There's too much popularity on this game and there's too much money bet into this market for you to find a massive edge. It's never going to be the case with main line plays, guys. When I say main markets, money line spreads, totals, run lines, puck lines, you're never going to see a massive edge, right? Same thing with like EPL, right? For any of my footy fans, folks across the pond, we're looking at Man U and Chelsea. Like, you're never going to see on the over-under like 2.5 goals, 10% EV edge or even 5%. It very rarely ever happens. So in my opinion, because I know how much popularity is behind these types of plays, I really like it. I like it a lot. Let me open up the NBA here. I got my touchdowns already fired up and ready for you guys. I came prepared to class today, teacher. I'm ready to go. So if we're looking at this game, obviously like Pinnacle's taking, actually they're only taking $7,500 at the moment. Bookmakers at minus 160. Like, we can get this at minus 142 over at FanDuel. I kind of dig that a lot, right? Looking at FanDuel. Now, they did just move in odds. That's why I love looking at this. Bookmaker, cool. BetOnline's chilling. Pinnacles moving down a little bit. Circus chilling. Now, FanDuel moved up. FanDuel was at minus 154. They moved to minus 142. I'm still okay with a little bit of a sprinkle here. Honestly, though, I think I'm out of money on my personal FanDuel account. I even made an extra deposit today. There's a lot of good stuff going on at FanDuel. I don't know if I think I got like $25 because I was going to save it for like the promos and stuff. So, and my funds are running a little thin in terms of like everything else. So, yeah, I have $25 in the account right now. So I'm not going to bet this minus 142 because I'm going to save it for some of the profit boosts. But feel free to bet this over at FanDuel, guys. Grizzlies at minus 142. No doubt about that. So that came courtesy of the optimizer, which was nice to see. On the Sharp Money tool, let me remove some sports books here so we can just kind of focus on Dabble and DraftKings Pick 6. We talked about this Marchand play. You could play it on Dabble as well. I like it too compared to Pinnacle. It's 19 cents off. That's really solid. So I like that a lot. Let's go to the optimizer and we'll focus on Dabble first. And I'm going to log into Pick 6 over here off to the side so that we can get that fired up. Let's take a look. So we're looking at 5-mans, and we only see one green play on a 5-man, which means, dude, we're so screwed because I'm playing 3-mans. Okay, so De'Aaron Fox under 7.5 assists. This is fantastic to FanDuel. It's okay to Pinnacle. So taking the average between FanDuel and Pinnacle, I like the De'Aaron Fox under 7.5 assists. Harden under on his points. You're getting an extra half point here in the under 28. Obviously, Harden has some wider variance with him because he can go off for 30 or he can maybe chill at like 22. But I do like this play in terms of just looking at the board. But understanding, guys, your player type, your player arc. You know, another example that I can give this to you is, you know, Jamison Williams, the wide receiver of the Detroit Lions. Jamison Williams is a very high variance type of player. So he can go for 2 catches for 25 yards, or he can go for 5 catches and 150 yards. He has that in him, kind of like George Pickens. Those are my 2 best examples of high variance players. Harden, because he has the ball in his hands so much, a lot of variance with Harden. Not saying he's going to score 6 points, but for him to go hit this over can happen more times than not. So that's kind of the next evolution, guys, when you are betting. If you know some of these players, you watch their games, you just kind of know how they operate. You know, there can be some higher variance for sure. James, then I would play the James Cook play, and I would definitely go after, what was it, some of the hockey guys? What was our slip that we created? Sorry, man, I wasn't able to provide you that. Yeah, so if you could take the James Cook boost with Carter Verhaeghe over on points, and then take, what was it, one of the two other hockey players, Lacombe for the Ducks under on his points. I can't remember the third player. You could take that on his under. Hopefully that those haven't bumped yet. Again, I would not bet much on those slips. Luckily, it's just a boosted play, so you can bet $10 because that's how it goes. Obviously, there's a happy hour super boost here too. Josh Allen, 1 pass or rushing touchdown in the first quarter tonight from plus 125 to plus 200. The tough part with this bet on DraftKings, guys, really hard to know if it's very plus EV. I'm going to bet it because typically these boosts are really solid. I can make a max of a $30 wager, which is pretty decent. So I'm going to wager on this right now and take a little screenshot of it just for my own record keeping. But if you want to bet this Josh Allen, 1 rushing touchdown, 1 passing touchdown, that's fine. Like I said, we don't at OddsJam really have a market to be able to look at first quarter passing or rushing touchdowns. This is a very specific type of bet, kind of like yesterday. How about, by the way, Donovan Mitchell, head-to-head against KD, outscored him by 1 point. Both of them had a bad shooting night, or at least Mitchell did. But we ended up getting it done there with that pick. That was a nice one. So there we go. So I'm going to grab that Josh Allen play. So I'm fine with Fox. Harden by the book, this looks fine. But again, he's a high variance player. Let's refresh this once more. Under 6 rebounds on Eubanks, it's fine. So, you could go with Fox, Harden, and Eubanks here. Or you could go with Fox, Eubanks, and Tristan da Silva, right? Tristan da Silva, in my opinion, has a little less variance than James Harden, but you could do that as well. Or Ryan Rollins under on his points and rebounds. The minus 144. I know we just bet his over on his rebounds and assists, but this is very good to FanDuel. I like the Ryan Rollins play more than the Harden play. So there we go. All right, over on DraftKings Pick 6, we do have a free square for Josh Allen. Do I have anything at all for Pick 6? No. So we got to come over here to the optimizer. Sharp Money Tools, just kind of disappointing tonight. Obviously, we have to make this all on the NFL if we're going to take the Allen free square, which is one of the things I can't stand about DraftKings Pick 6, is we have to take this on this game tonight. So for Allen just to get any, which we want to try our best to try to make the slip because it's an excellent boost. We really just got to hit on 2 of these. So first I'll just type in the Bills over here. Really heavily leaning on Pinnacle's odds. We're getting this at minus 122 on a 3-man slip. Don't particularly care for the Josh Palmer play. Obviously can't. These are just all the Bills players right now, guys. We'll take a look at the Texans players here in a second. Yeah, these, what I'm seeing so far, these all suck. And again, guys, if you're like, well, what do you mean, Billy? Like, I like the under on James Cook's receiving yards. It's not so much what you like. It's more of what the sports book's odds are. We're looking for value, right? We're looking for a really good price, really good value on this play. And this Khalil Shakir over on receiving yards, possibly. That would be maybe a play I could kind of get interested in. Again, though, when I'm saying this, it's like I'm not super excited about this, but I would like to try to create something. Over here on the Texans, Jaden Higgins, not really. And I don't really care about FanDuel's pricing too much when it comes to this. Okay, Hutchinson, under 14.5, I can get down with Hutchinson. This is also a 5.9x payout, guys, which is just normally it's 6x. I'm not losing sleep over the fact that it's 5.9, right? So what can we play this for? I think it's, how much is it? $10. Gotcha. $10. This is what I'm going to play on my slip here, guys. Feel free to tail. Don't lose sleep over the fact that we're getting paid out $59 instead of $60. It's not really the end of the world on this particular slip. So you're going to be just fine. Again, I like the Hutchinson play more than I like the Khalil Shakir play. If we were to find another one, I would say the Davis Mills over on passing yards is barely decent. That's what I would do. Yeah, it's on, yeah. Yeah, Irish, we were looking at it, man, and no, nothing at all. I have them and Dabble selected, and there's one play on the Sharp Money tool. I do have all 3 leagues, NBA, NHL, and NFL. There's nothing. So we looked, not much. Yeah, so let's kind of get into the promos, I guess, next, right? So first we're going to look for the FanDuel promo. Now, I bet mine this morning on Ray Davis, and we bet this at plus 1,900 odds, and it was at 1,800, but now it's back to 1,900 on FanDuel. I like the bet plays, though. The Pinnacle has odds, but again, guys, for this touchdown jackpot boost on FanDuel, all you have to do is just bet a minimum of $5. Again, I'll repeat this. I say this every Thursday. If you wager more money on the touchdown jackpot boost, it doesn't mean you're going to make more money on the payout. So all you have to do is put up a $5 bet. So I like to shoot my shot on super long shots because I don't know how many people tonight are betting Ray Davis for an anytime touchdown scorer. And so if he scores the first or last, we're not only getting paid out a nice amount on a $5 bet, but we're also probably going to cash a shitload of bonus bets. So for the FanDuel boost, first and foremost, I'm just going to scroll here and look for FanDuel's odds to be in bright green. That's it. Pretty simple strategy. I'm looking for where FanDuel's offering the best price. Like on this play with Cole Bishop, Hard Rock's offering the best price. Granted, they're the only book that's offering the price, but that's what I'm looking for. So I just come over to player touchdowns. It's a very simple strategy. We're looking and hoping to see that we can see some value on FanDuel. Texans defense, but there's nobody else offering odds. James Cook. Actually, this is a very EV play. Shit, I got to get some money over here. Damn it, that's an EV play on James Cook. Now, the problem is everyone's going to be wagering on James Cook, but I'm going to follow where the value is. Normally, I don't like to bet the popular guys, but if there isn't any value anywhere else, then that's where I'm going in terms of Pinnacle having odds. So that's it. If you want to get a little freaky with this thing, Tyrell Shavers, obviously no Pinnacle odds, but offering pretty good odds over here on FanDuel. And then Ray Davis, right? So it's really, but this is an EV play for James Cook anytime touchdown. And honestly, my account that I have my funds in, like I'm out of dough on FanDuel and I can't make any more deposits. I got to move some money. Around. So damn. So that could be your top play here, guys. This is a very good play to Pinnacle. Now, for a first touchdown score, it's a little bit of a different story. Nice to hear that, Irish. Nice to hear that, man. So on ESPN, Anton was asking about there's a first TD score. Let me log in because I got a couple of bucks over there. And even though I am limited on ESPN, I wonder if they'll let me get in on it. Same thing. We're just scrolling here on ESPN to see if they show bright green at all. And survey says they don't, which sucks. Because that means there isn't really a plus EV play for first TD score on ESPN Bet. Let me see what the promo is. Man, I must have, maybe because I'm limited now, they're not offering any more promos. So I don't have a promo right now for ESPN. I have 0 promos. Yeah, once you get limited, they just basically eliminate all of your promos. Let me see if there's a boost. Yeah, there's a boost, but I don't have the promo. So honestly, on this one, guys, this is one where I would say I'll try to provide my insight on just like a play, but honestly, take whatever you think's going to happen here. If we can find a similar price to some of the next best pricing, then that's something I can get excited about. Gabe Davis looks decent. It's better on FanDuel, but Gabe Davis is okay. You know, you don't want to take Jalen Knoll because they're giving you a plus 2,200. Look at this. It's plus 6,500 on FanDuel. Like, that's a really big difference. That's massive. I mean, $100, you're getting paid out 2,200 compared to 6,500. Like, that's huge. So don't do that. Joshua Palmer is okay. Again, these are negative EV play. They're not great plays, guys, but just to give you an option if you're looking to put that boost together, that's where I would go. Okay. Speaking of anytime touchdown scores, on the positive EV tool, I do have my filters set up and looking, and looks like on no vig, James Cook. We talked about this. $1,600, guys, doesn't really scare me. You can grab this on FanDuel. You can grab this on no vig. I would bet this on no vig if I was in Pennsylvania right now. No doubt about that. If we open up the line chart here, what do we have? Yeah, here's why I love it. Look at this. Pinnacles just fell off a cliff, as I love to say. They did. I mean, look at that. That's within the last 15 minutes. So Pinnacle was at minus 119. Now they're at minus 132. That's a decent movement from a really sharp sports book. I would definitely go after that, right? Line movement from a sharp book, guys, is huge. Very, very huge. So I'm more than happy to bet this over there. I would love to just try to get a little bit. I don't know if I can put any more. I think I might have maybe a little bit. Give me 1 second here, guys. I got to get this James Cook play. This is just too good. It's just too good to pass up on this one. Woody Marks, same thing. This is only a no vig play. You could get this over at Canby. Canby, it's not quite as good. I would definitely take this over at no vig, though. No doubt about that. All right, so we're in on Woody Marks. Josh Allen, a little bit too low of an edge. It's okay. Over on Profit X, this would be one that I would definitely grab as well. All right. Perfect. All right, so I'll come back to this for this James Cook play because I definitely like that. Let me keep this open so I can just put in touchdown score. And this is, FanDuel guys, one thing I'll say about FanDuel, I bet the most over on FanDuel. One of the things I bet the most on is anytime touchdown scores, player home runs, and NHL anytime goal scores. 3 very popular markets that you can get a lot of money down. FanDuel provides edge after edge after edge. You can make a lot of money betting into those markets if you're using a software like this. Let's peep the sharp money tool. And let's just kind of fire up all the plays at the moment. We will jump over to arbitrage here in just a second. Okay, so our top play here, Teuvo Teravainen, over 1.5 shots on goal. Somebody wants this at plus 120 odds. They put up over $5,000 on this play. This is slightly better to Pinnacle. It's not incredible, but to DraftKings, it's, I'd bet this on DraftKings. I'd bet this on ESPN Bet, Hard Rock. Anyone that has plus 115 or higher odds, Props Builder, Bovada, Bet 105. This is all really, really good stuff. So I'm going to fire up my Bet 105 account. I dropped a video, guys, yesterday on the channel talking about Bet 105 and the sharp money tool and how I like to bet into this. This would be a great example of I want to bet into Pinnacle, but I don't have a Pinnacle account. Well, I do over at Bet 105. So use code BillyC, guys, when you open up a Bet 105 account. It is an offshore sportsbook. And on your first deposit of $100, you'll receive a $50 bonus bet. It's a 1x rollover. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's a great book that I bet on all the time. And it's the one book that allows me to bet similarly to Pinnacle's odds. So obviously offshore, I can't show it here on YouTube because I can't showcase offshore sports books. I'm going in for $150 here. So we're over here, and if anybody is over on, so I'll put this in right here, right? I could bet this over on Hard Rock, guys. I really don't want to ruin my relationship betting these types of player props on Hard Rock. I'll take a slightly worse price and grab this. So if anyone wants to copy this, the cool thing here is I can copy this link and send it over here. Well, losing streak, it depends on the market, right? Pinnacle always sits at $250, okay? So Pinnacle sits at $250 for all their player props. So when you say, why does the liquidity not cause some pause? So a couple of reasons why certain markets I don't have an issue at all betting into using Pinnacle as my sharp. I've been betting using this software for 4 years. I've been betting anytime touchdowns and anytime home runs and NHL goal scores and player props for 4 years. I have over 30,000 bets in OddsJam software. So I have myself personally a lot of historical data. So there are certain markets that I've bet into enough times that have enough volume down that I just trust Pinnacle is a sharp book, even if they're only taking $250 in player props. Here, I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to put more of my money on that. Like someone here is fairly sharp that's looking to bet $5,000. There's the link, guys, if you want to check that play out over on Bet 105. It's a fair question to ask, but just for myself, this is just something that I've placed a lot of bets in certain markets, and I'm okay going after this. I'm willing, with this whole sharp money gambit, guys, again, we've talked about this before. This is a fundamental belief that you believe that whoever's posting $5,000 or $3,000 on the exchanges is not just a guy that's bored and has some dough and wants to place bets on NHL. The belief is that you think that this is a professional bettor that has a sophisticated model, or just a model that tells them that they want to get some money down on player props. So this can really change the way that you look at it. If it's not a big deal, or it's no skin off my back, if you don't really believe in this, this is just a different strategy, a different philosophy when it comes to sports betting. You are taking a pretty decent assumption that the person over here that's putting up the 3K is a sharp bettor, right? There is a chance it could be a schmuck that just got a lot of dough and likes to bet on the NHL. But that's really the main difference there between sometimes using a top-down sports betting approach. This is more of a bottom-up sports betting approach. Yeah, no problem losing streak. Yeah, with anytime TDs, I can understand that, right? FanDuel's probably taking more money than others, but I just have too much data on my side throughout the last 3 to 4 football seasons to tell me that like it's worth betting into FanDuel. So Schaefer over on his shots on goal. Somebody wants this at plus 116 odds. Obviously, the tool is going to highlight somewhere where you can get better than this, which is at plus 120. I'm normally willing to take a 5 to 8 cent worse price over on another book. So if I can't get this at plus 116 odds, I would be willing to drop this down to like plus 108. So somewhere between plus 108 to plus 116. So like MGM at plus 110, Bet Rivers. I like that. Not really willing to drop down to the props builder Bovada price. That's just a personal belief. That doesn't mean that you have to, guys. If you want to just start taking any of these bets at FanDuel and whatnot, you can do so. But I tried to have some type of rules so that I just don't start firing off all bets. Harrison Barnes. Somebody wants this at minus 160 for $3,000. They want the under 2.5 player assists. Again, little too expensive here for me on DraftKings and Caesars. Fanatics, obviously you can get this, but you can maybe grab this over at ProfitX. There's only $124, but I would definitely bet this at ProfitX. Khalil Shakir on his player receptions, under 4.5. Don't know if I really believe that. This probably is an incorrect price on Onyx. That's what I'm willing to say. But somebody wants this at minus 104. So this would be one that you could bet over at Pinnacle or Props Builder. You can get this at Props Builder, even money. Obviously, you can't get this at FanDuel or DraftKings or any of the major books. But again, having more books provides these opportunities. So I'm totally fine with either going there or even at Bracco or Bovada. Those would be a couple that I'm fine grabbing this at. I'll first try Props Builder, see if I can grab this. Shakir under 4.5 catches. I don't mind grabbing the under here on Shakir because honestly, when it comes to the Bills pass catchers, you're playing a game of Russian roulette. We really don't know who's going off tonight. They got a billion people they could throw the football to. It's a really weird scenario, guys. Normally a solid offense like the Bills, you know who the number 1 and the number 2 is. Dalton Kincaid's the number 1, and he's hurt. He's not playing tonight. So it's kind of tough to say. Also, maybe the Bills are going to prove me wrong, but the last couple of games they've played on the road, they've stunk. I know they put up 40-some points against Tampa. They were at home. When they crushed the Chiefs, they were at home. These last couple times they've been on the road, they have not played very well. Texans have a good defense, so I'm all right with taking the under on Shakir here at even money. Looks like I can't. Props Builder just kind of locked it. So it looks like I got to go over to Bracco and hit up some Bracco. Ken, what's going on, man? No, not at all, losing streak. Listen, man, you're asking a really good question. Not a derail at all, in my opinion. It's, there's the sharp money tool is a tool that can be a little confusing when you first look at it if you don't really understand. And then, you also have to understand that it is a fundamental different belief. Remember, guys, I've talked about this before, but professional sports bettors use a bottom-up approach. They don't just pick off the stale recreational sports books because they're looking to bet $5, $10, $25, $50,000 on these plays. So they don't bet into the rec books. They bet into the sharp books. And so they bet into markets where it's minus 110, minus 110 across the board. So let me jump in over here on Bracco and let's look at player props. Let's see if this is still there. Again, guys, this is like a sweepstakes sports book. We're looking for, let's look at Shakir. This is at minus 111. $500 max wager size isn't bad. This person wants it, I think, what was it, minus 104? We're going to get off the Shakir play here in a second. Yeah, minus 104. It's fine. It's a little outside of it, but I'm cool with it. So let's risk. Oh, I got to log in. My apologies. I'm going to log in to bet, and then we'll go ahead and grab this. Okay, outside of Shakir, DeRozan for a double-double. Yeah, I mean, that's long shot odds. If you guys that want to sprinkle a little long shot odds play, really the only place to go to is Hard Rock because they're offering plus 4,000 odds. All right, so we get this play over here on Shakir. Unfortunately, it's locked on Props Builder. I couldn't get it at that price. Could have bet maybe a little bit more, but that's fine. What else we got here? Obviously, we're going to see a lot of Hard Rock guys. Don't be discouraged if you don't have Hard Rock because, again, somebody wants this at minus 128 odds. You can bet this over on FanDuel. Zach Hyman over 2.5 shots on goal. You could bet this at Caesars. You could bet this at Canby. There's a couple different places. So another reason, guys, why I like the Sharp Money tool is it's going to provide you some different opportunities, different options, right? You can take a bit of a range on these plays. Not always the case with the Positive EV tool. With the Positive EV tool, if you don't bet it at that book, 9 times out of 10, you can't bet it anywhere else. At least here with the Sharp Money tool, you have some wiggle room, which is really nice. So, not everyone has Hard Rock, right? Because it's not available in most states. Or if you do have it, you're probably severely limited. But you can bet this at Caesars, Canby, and FanDuel. So I don't mind that at all. Okay. And again, guys, all of these plays, like these are big outliers. Like Pinnacle's taking $250. These are 8x multipliers. So whatever Pinnacle's limit is, times that by 6, 7, 8. If it's beyond 5x for player props, I have a lot of confidence in the play, and I'd be willing to take it. And the higher the multiplier, the more confidence that I do have in that play, right? So Toffoli here, somebody wants this at plus 142 odds. Not always the case. You can't always get it. Hey, I can get this at plus 138 at bet 105. So I will definitely go over there and bet that right now at bet 105. Toffoli over on his shots on goal in the Kings and the Sharks game. And if you guys are new to using the Sharp Money tool, I would highly advise to just go light, get more plays down, bet less money on the plays. That's definitely what I would take a look at. So I could bet 200 on Toffoli. Let's go in for a 125 spot at plus 138. All right, there we go. So I'm getting this about 4 cents off to what the Sharp Better actually wants it at. I'm cool with that. All right, so let's take a look at some other stuff going on. Let's look at the arbitrage tool for any of my arb bettors that aren't really interested in taking on risk and they just want to make some risk-free money. We're looking at pre-match over here, right? So just come over here to the ARB tool. Here's the setup, right? Pick the sports books that you have accounts with, right? I'll throw in Bracco now. I'll kind of click off of Onyx. Percentage, right? Well, first off, minimum max odds. This is completely blank, right? OddsJam likes to put these numbers here in the background. These aren't the actual real numbers or the real odds range. It's just supposed to identify or give you an example of what you would input in that field. And then over here on the ROI, I don't have anything for a minimum. I do keep this. I cap it at 10% max for pregame bets. Anything beyond 10%, most likely a mistake made by the sports books. And this tool's job is to find the mistakes made by the sports books. And so you want to live in more of a gray area, right? If you go beyond 10%, that's more of an egregious, palpable error made by the sports books. You can run the risk of taking those ARBs. You're most likely, though, if you get away with getting that ARB in and they pay you out, you're probably going to get a big slap on the wrist, or you're going to get a message saying, hey, you found one of our mistakes. Now we're going to punish you with limits. So that's why we don't go beyond 10%. If you want to cap this to 8%, that's fine as well. DVIG settings, you can use OddsJam's recommended book weights or Pinnacle. Doesn't really matter. Leagues, I keep them all selected because I want all bets. Markets, though, I don't really go after alternate markets. Not a lot of money in these markets. And once you start to raise the stakes on your ARBs, you start betting over $100 on one side of an ARB, alternate markets just don't accept a lot of liquidity. And so not really worth your time to arbitrage, in my opinion, alt markets. Main markets, you can do a boatload. If you just want to focus on main markets, guys, and not player props, there's not going to be that many ARBs, but the ARBs that are there, you can effing hammer them. I'm talking 5, 10, 10 G's on one side of an arb. So if you ever want to focus just on mainline markets, while you're not going to see, probably 3, 4, 5% arbs, the arbs that you do see, you can wager a lot of money on. And when you're talking about a Caesars, a DraftKings, this is where you can accrue a lot of points if you find some arbs. So another way that you can kind of earn a lot of rewards points with mainline markets and arbs, but you're most likely not going to see 5, 6, 7, 8% arbs. It's going to be probably in that 1, maybe 2% range. Date ranges for today, that's pretty much it. Naturally, the board is going to be filled with player props. All the sports books have a massive menu. Player props in the NBA, you can bet a ton of them. So that's what's going to show you the most opportunities. That's why you're really never going to see mainline markets up in this area. Irish, yeah, I did. I posted it on X. It was a 2-leg parlay. If you guys haven't checked it out, I'm looking to hit my 3rd straight day in a row for a parlay on Onyx. See if I can get that link up for you so I can just give you the play. Yeah, here it is. All right. So here it is if you guys want to check it out here in the chat. Dang, we got like almost 75 people in here. What's going on, guys? For those who are just tuning in, first and foremost, welcome in. We're looking at the arbitrage tool. Dropped a video yesterday on the sharp money tool and Bet 105 and how it's a viable long-term strategy. Bet 105 won't limit you to pennies like MGM does or Bet Rivers, so you can still get some money down. Naturally, guys, and if you find any value in these streams, guys, or the videos, make sure to smash that subscribe button as we're moving towards 10,000 subscribers. We're getting really close to 8,000, which is insane to me. But appreciate every one of you that subscribe and provide positive and negative comments. The comments mean a lot. I learn a lot from them. I read a lot of comments. I might not always respond back, but I do read them and take note so I can provide better value for you. So if you're looking at this board, and if you have a ProfitX or you have a no-vig account, those are going to be the arbs that you want to attack first. Now, I understand that most people might not have Sportzino, and if you do, you're probably limited. But these would be the arbs that you want to go through first, right? In order for an arb to be a possibility, an opportunity, at least one sports book has to be way off, right? If I look at this play on MGM and Bovada, don't really know who's the dumb one and who's the smart one, right? They might both be dumb here. But the thing here is that you're getting an incredible price on this over and on this under, right? So that kind of hurts your account health on both books. But if you go after like a ProfitX or a no-vig play here, ProfitX and no-vig don't care about how much money that you wager. They don't care if you wager loose change. Not at all, right? Does not matter to them. So ProfitX and no-vig will always be your best bets when it comes to arbitrage betting, because now you're really only hurting yourself on this arb and you're getting a great price on Sportzino. So I would always recommend, guys, even on Kalshi. Kalshi's got some player props going on here, bro. Are you serious right now? Dude, we got to hit up some Kalshi arbs, bro. I know that Kalshi does charge a little bit of a tax on their plays, but again, Kalshi, they don't care what you wager. They don't care how much money that you wager on. It doesn't matter. So you're really only hurting yourself on a Bet Rivers or a Ballybet account here with your account health. I know account health is very important and at the top of everyone's minds. For pregame betting, this is one way that you can do it, focusing on games that start within the next couple of minutes. Uncle Slim, appreciate that, man. Get a peek at the optimizer, Uncle Slim? Of course, man. I appreciate the tip. It's very kind of you. That's another way you can do it. You don't always have to join the channel memberships. You can just throw your boy a little tip, and we'll definitely take a look. Uncle Slim, let me know what kind of slip you want to rock. You want to rock a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Let me know in the chat what you're looking to rock, and we'll try to get you something. Appreciate that. So if we're looking at 3-man slips with no insurance, Slim, assuming this is what you're looking for, this is okay. I'm not a big fan of playing the combos. The combos are kind of like, eh. If I come over to the sharp money tool, and we go to player props, and I look at sports books. 6, of course, all right. Well, then we got a little more options. All right, so for PrizePicks, let's look at 5 and 6. All right, on the sharp money tool, we talked about Brad Marchand. It's a lower edge, but you could throw Marchand under 2.5, okay? Kobe Sanders under 11.5. Not a lot of sharp books are offering this price, but under 11.5 points and assists, this one's okay. It's kind of fine. Let's look at a 6-man flex. Things look a little bit better now, obviously, when you're rocking 6-man flexes, right? We're talking 20 cents off on this Barnes NAW under points combo. I'm fine with this one, okay? So we can kind of check that one off. And then what else do we have? We talked about the Marchand play. Don't like the fantasy scores. Not going to mess around with the golf scores. Let's see what else we got here. So Marchand, yeah. I mean, Ryan Rollins under on his points, rebounds, and assists. That'd be the second play. So Ryan Rollins under points, rebounds, and assists. Marchand under 2.5 shots on goal. Tyler Shook rushing and passing yards. No pinnacle odds here yet. Playing a dangerous game with the combos. I'm okay with this Maxey play. Really good to FanDuel, even though it's a half. I'm fine with taking Maxey under 7.5 assists. So that would be 4 plays. We can't drop NAW again. Levine, we talked about this. Very good to FanDuel. Over 23.5 points. And it's 22.5. I'm fine with this one as well. So Levine over on his points and rebounds. Marchand on his under 2.5 shots. And then what's the final play here? So you're rolling dice here on the first quarter points on Porzingis. But minus 148 looks really good. So adding in the Marchand play, we're taking Harrison Barnes, NAW, under on their points combo, under 31.5. Rollins under on his points, rebounds, and assists. Maxey under on his assist. Levine over on his points and rebounds. Porzingis under on his first quarter points. And Marchand under 2.5 shots on goal. That would be the 6-man slip that you would that I would rock, and I would obviously make that a flex entry with insurance. That's what I would check out there, man. Appreciate the tip as always. Very kind of you. Let's double check the anytime touchdown scores. Oh yeah, I want to make this. I've been forgetting about this. Can we make this deposit? Dying to make a deposit here. Oh, I got to log in. Ooh, I want this James Cook play. This just looks so good. And they're telling me to bet 262. All right, love it. All right, guys, so love this type of play. Putting my money where my mouth is. Coming over here, I just made a $200 deposit. And I got 225 in here right now, so we're going to put it all on James Cook anytime TD. All right. There we go. 225. There it is. And shout out to FanDuel. All right, that's a decent one there. Let's take a look at some... We looked at some NBA player props earlier. Let's take a look at some college hoops really quick. Just some mainline markets. We're going to use Bookmaker as our sharp. Let's clear this out. Let's go. Let's drop this down to 130, and let's look for today. No problem, man. No problem. Appreciate you. So let's select all these, and what do we got for Bookmaker? Okay. Queens University, -7. Profit X. We can actually bet this over at Ballybet, but it looks like Bookmaker just moved their odds. So let's refresh that. Princeton, first half money line on Bovada, -120. -141 on Bookmaker. Can we get this anywhere else outside of Bovada? And the answer is not really. So this is a Bovada-only play. Not really all that great to Circa. But Princeton, first half money line. Again, guys, you have a little insurance with these plays because Princeton, they could be tied at half and you can get your money back. All right. K-State, +1.5. They're taking on Mississippi State. Pinnacle's taking 5K. I can guarantee that Bookmaker's probably taking a little bit more. They're moving a little bit, not much. But Profit X, guys, there's only $153 here. I would bet the K-State play if you want to bet them on the money line. You could go over to Profit X and bet this on the money line. This is almost a low hold to Pinnacle, which is really good. Again, there's only 15 bucks over there. Wake Forest plus 9.5. Outside of Hard Rock, can we get this anywhere else? And the answer is no. All right, we'll move on from that. Cal Poly versus Utah. Utah minus 14.5 for $155. When it's low liquidity like this, guys, these are plays that I like to attack on the exchanges, right? When we start to see over $1,000 on any kind of college basketball markets, that's where I'll pause. But we're talking $155 here. No problem at all going after this. Definitely like that play. Uncle Slim, a bump for you? Best way to deposit, Daniel? I think it's just... I think I just used I might have used crypto. I think I used crypto. So it's kind of weird because it is like a sweepstakes sports book, but I use crypto. So it gives me offshore sportsbook vibes, but then the website's .com, not .ag. So I would say it's a sweepstakes book. If that play bumped, then I would take... Conku. I don't really like that one. The under 6 rebounds, Dyson Daniels, that's fine. Oh, wait a minute. Tyler Shook came up here. The over on passing yards, I take the over at 191. I know that's not until Sunday, but that's honestly a better play. The over on his passing yards on 191. That's the one I would go after. All right, what else we got over here? Bucknell St. John's. The over 159. What did Bookmaker do here? They dropped off. Whoa, they dropped big time. Plus one. They dropped 10 cents. If you can get this on Bally Bet or Bet Rivers, I don't know what the deal is here, but it looks still. It's a low hold now. Maybe not as good. Not as good. Central Arkansas. Again, a lot of these are going to be. Oh, here we go. We got a Caesars play. This is too low though. Too low. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for college hoops. It's just too low on Bookmaker. Can't get really anything else that's really worth our time. Colgate and Cornell, though, for $55. This under 162. This is very good. Very, very good. Pinnacle agrees. It's lower liquidity on Pinnacle and Bookmaker, but I'd still take this under on Colgate and Cornell. Let's head over and take a look at some NBA player props. Let's look at some NFL player props, and then we'll jump into some NBA player props. All right, so for the game for tonight, I like to use Pinnacle as my sharp. We'll keep this the same, plus minus 130. Joshua Palmer, BetMGM. We're back in the saddle again with MGM. The odds are back. They're live. You can hit this on Bally Bet. You can do this on ProfitX, NoVig. Anytime that we see odds that are better than Fanatics, guys, I would love to bet this. You could even do maybe DraftKings. Lower edge play. Looks like it just moved a bit, but I'm all right with that. Yeah, John, we got to take a look at that as well. There's a lot to get into. No doubt about that. So Palmer now looks to be a better play at Sportzino. Again, if you take this over at Fanatics or Hard Rock, obviously Hard Rock's always going to be like one of the main books. If we grab this at Bet Rivers or Bally Bet at plus 100 odds, it's a 2% edge. It's fine. It's not great. You could do worse. It's okay. Dawson Knox, over 2.5 receptions. Hard Rock, BetMGM, ProfitX. ProfitX, there's only $13. There's $1,000 being traded right now on Pinnacle that they're willing to take on this play. You could see that there's one specific movement with this purple line. That purple line is Pinnacle. Very sharp book. They're moving in a specific direction. So anything that's roughly around plus 110 odds is excellent. Yeah, it's pretty much just the soft books that you can get this on. I'm sure a lot of you guys are limited on BetMGM. Jaden Higgins under on his receptions at plus 110. This is an ARB to Pinnacle on MGM. I'm sorry, not an ARB. Almost an ARB or low hold to Pinnacle. Definitely like that. Really, though, it's a MGM only type of play. And for those of you that are new, you can have a lot of success betting into BetMGM on player props. We talked about Shakir. I bet his under earlier thanks to the sharp money tool. I guess you could bet his over, but I'm kind of listening a little bit more into the liquidity that was posted for him, so I'm on his under. James Cook, anytime TD, we talked about that. Josh Allen on his passing completions, over 19.5. This is a 3% edge. If you went over to FanDuel and bet this at 102 odds, it's under 2%. I would probably stay away from this play. Again, guys, on a day like today, when we have some NBA games, a lot of college basketball and NFL, and a boatload of NHL games. You don't necessarily have to force plays that are under 2% EV edge or even under 3%. James Cook, Onyx, DraftKings. Looks like Onyx is back, like I said, together again with DraftKings. This is better on Fanatics, but we're looking at his over 15.5 receiving yards. Let's peep what Pinnacle's got going on. Oh, that's what we want. Boys, ladies and gents, that's what you want to see. You want to see a sharp book just go kamikaze off the bridge, straight down, face plant. They go from minus 103 to minus 132. That's 29 cents in movement. I'm going to go over to Onyx and try to bet as much as I can responsibly. Always responsibly, guys, when it comes to this. Over 15.5 receiving yards. Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? I'm going to take a guess that sometimes, though, this play can move. It's minus 111. It's minus 123 now on Onyx. And I really wanted to save the money in my DraftKings account right now for live betting, but this is a very good play. Very good play, guys. If you can get this on DraftKings. Onyx, piece of poop. Not there, but I would definitely grab this over on DraftKings. Let's take a look at some NHL anytime goal scores. Let's peep that. Man, we're moving right along. I'll be back on tomorrow, guys, at 9 a.m. Eastern. Setting you up for your Friday. Save filters. What do we got? Brad Marchand over on goals. This looks very good. FanDuel, Canby Sportsbook. Very good play here. Anything over 3% I really like. Marchand, yes, please. I'm going to go try to bet this right now on Bet Rivers. Probably going to get limited, or probably already am limited. Again, you could bet this on FanDuel, guys. As you guys know, though, I just spent the remaining of my money over on James Cook to score a touchdown. But Marchand, there is a world, guys, where Marchand has 2 goals, 2 shots on goal, or 1 shot on goal and does score a goal. That can definitely happen. Is this game live? It's almost live. Can we get it for 125? Bingo. We can get that for 125 bucks. All right, awesome. Bet Rivers. That's awesome. Good play on Marchand. Wyatt Johnston, it's a little low, but I'd still consider going after this play. This is, though, Hard Rock only. I would not go after this out of anybody else. Not really there for sure. Ashley, what am I mostly betting live? It's main markets. I'll do some player props for the NBA, but it's mostly main markets. So the only player props that I really mess around with is the NBA outside of, and that can be for arbitrage, but a lot of main markets. The Schmaltz play, not really there. Okay, so we get the Marchand play. We'll kind of wrap things up with some NBA player props. And we're going to make a slight adjustment, as we did yesterday, and just take a look at, I like using FanDuel more times than not, but let's take a look at Pinnacle. And if there is a question that you don't remember to ask in the chat, or if I didn't answer your question in the chat, I do apologize. Just email me or DM me on X, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. All right, let's take a look at what we got. Keegan Murray, over 1.5 threes, MGM. Again, if you are limited on MGM, we've talked about this before. If you want to start incorporating round robins or parlays, then just grab the Murray play, grab the Schroeder play, grab the Westbrook play, right? Honestly, you could grab all 3 of these plays and play an SGP. The books really like that. You could do that as well. And just start tracking your parlays. Start tracking your round robins on Pickett. It's a lot easier, guys, to track your parlays and round robins on Pickett than it is to use OddsJam. Excuse me. It just takes too long to click through and add the parlays here on OddsJam. So I would just use Pickett for that, right? That way you can just rifle through a bunch of parlays on, maybe it's just BetMGM. KCP over 14.5 PRA. This looks very good at Pinnacle. I don't mind, any book can catch action from me. I think FanDuel's sharp for NBA guys, but sometimes they're out to lunch on their player props. Now, there isn't really a movement in one direction. You can see FanDuel's moved up just a little bit. So you could play this, play it at your own risk. I don't mind a little sprinkle, though, in KCP. You really don't need any of my insights here on MGM. You're going to have a great time. Anything that's on no vig, guys, that's really under $500 is an automatic bet for me. Again, $159 on Landell. AJ Green's $105. $44 on Cedric Coward. $178 on Jalen Suggs. $337 on Rashara. This is really easy. These are just bam, 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 bam. I don't think a highly successful professional sports bettor is trying to dangle $178 to try to bait you in. I think that these pros are betting thousands of dollars. They're not very much concerned with numbers under $500. Barnes over on threes. FanDuel. Okay, let's take a look at the movement here. We got any movement? I really love looking at movement. And on a day like today where there's so much going on, you want to really focus on movement. Like we talked about before with the James Cook receiving yards, where Pinnacle went, that's what we want to see. Here, it's just two books that have two different opinions. So you can go after these plays, but if you specifically want to target plays where a sharp book or a couple of books are moving in one direction, that would be another ideal strategy, right? But again, you can't really do this on your cell phone. You can't see line movement on the phone. You can over on the desktop. First time catching you live. Can I see Sharp Money Tool plays for Hard Rock, Donovan? Yeah, I mean, we spent about 20 minutes earlier on the stream going over the Sharp Money Tool for Hard Rock. So make sure, we kind of have a flow to it. So I'm happy to show you. But just so you know, we didn't skip past it. We always showcase kind of what's going on. So we bet this Tavo Teravainen play. The DeMar DeRozan is a very long shot play, so just be careful there. Brian Robinson Jr. over on his rushing yards. This is Sunday. Zach Hyman, $2,200. Bet is over 2.5 shots on goal at minus 125 odds on Hard Rock. These would be two plays, Teravainen and Zach Hyman. We bet this Toffoli play earlier. You can get this at plus 145. These would all be plays that I would definitely go after. Oh, you can see it on your phone? Appreciate that, Nito. Thank you, man. Thank you. I obviously don't use my phone very often because I'm always in front of the computer. You just have to use the web version app of OJ. That's good to know. I appreciate you sharing that. It's very helpful because line movement is huge, guys. Being able to see that movement, it just gives you more insight and more confidence in the plays that you're betting. So definitely make sure that you take advantage of that. Appreciate that, Anito. Thank you for kind of updating me on that one. That's very helpful. All right, guys, I am starving. I'm going to go run over and make some dinner and then give my eyes a break and then come back down to probably do a little live betting. So you guys have an awesome Thursday night. Enjoy all of the sports. I'll be on tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern doing this thing again. Otherwise, guys, have a great night.